Welcome to the Level Up Lounge podcast with Steph and Chantel.
Yes, so today we have an amazing guest on our show. We all know her as AstroTash. She's the Channel 7 Astrologer. She's a beautiful, beautiful person, and we can't wait to have her on. So AstroTash, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's gorgeous to be here with you beautiful girls.
Thank you. We're so excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm actually.
She can't contain it.
I'm so excited. I'm like, we have Natasha Weber, AstroTash in our studios. I've been a fan of yours for a long time. Happened to meet you in person and we've been friends since. And thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you so much for having me. We had a rather serendipitous meeting, didn't you, Chantel?
Oh,
yes.
So weird.
We bonded over eye drops in the Channel 7 green room.
I was literally doing makeup in Channel 7 studios. That was last year or year before?
Last year. No idea. The year has been a bit of a blur, I have to say.
Very quickly.
Yeah, it's been a big year.
I know. Yes. But thank you, and it was a pleasure to meet you.
You too.
And tell us a little bit about who is AstroTash.
Oh, okay. I feel like I'm at a job interview. Well, let's start with the obvious. I'm a Gemini sun. So this is why I talk with my hands a lot. And I think, Geminis are actually born communicators.
Oh, my God. You haven't met my ex.
Oh, okay. This is a whole
worst communicator in the history of humanity.
But you know what's interesting is that sometimes when astrology signs or zodiac signs are associated with certain characteristics, it can often mean that they are born, or that particular person is born into having to develop that theme or that characteristic. So with that Geminis, and life will thrust these people into that area so that we learn and develop these themes and these qualities. And Leo is one example. Leos are known to be super confident, but they may not necessarily be born confident. They might be born super shy, but then it's their mission in life to develop those characteristics.
Yes. Very interesting.
So it's quite nuanced. It's not as obvious as people think, you're a Gemini, you're a born communicator. Not necessarily. You may need to really work on that in your lifetime.
Okay.
Because I've met, various Geminis. One who's very, very closed in, like closed book with no cover at the front.
Yeah.
Very closed.
Extremely closed, very hard to crack open.
Yes.
And the others I know, very good, very open, very, it's weird.
And, of course, it depends on what else is going on in the person's birth chart, and that's really the beauty of astrology. So we start off talking about the sun signs, what sign are you, and that's wonderful, but that is just the starting point. Then we must go beyond. We must go beyond the sun sign and look at the moon sign, look at the rising sign and all of the planets in their respective zodiac signs, and then all of the mathematical relationship that all of the planets make in a person's birth chart. And that's what really makes an individual astrological blueprint for each person.
So you need, in order to get your own personalized astrology chart, you need your birthday, birth time, is that right?
Yes. So you do need a birth time for accuracy.
Yep.
So the birth time will determine the faster moving points.
Right.
So we're talking the rising sign, the midheaven in a birth chart. And so the rising sign is the easternmost point on the horizon at your exact moment of birth. And that can change an entire sign in about 2.5 hours.
Wow.
And that rising sign is also known as the first house cusp. So that then determines all of the 12 houses and therefore all of the planets' placements in the chart. And then the moon moves quite quickly as well. Yes, so...
See, I love astrology.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very nuanced.
Such a horoscope girl.
Yeah.
Horoscopy girl. Yeah.
Love even putting horoscope aside, but the whole astrology, the whole moon, the whole...
Yes.
Who's compatible with who and who's the most compatible, you would say, with the Gemini?
For compatibility, always a good rule of thumb to start with the elements.
Right.
So for a Gemini, for example, Geminis belong to the air element.
Which is who I am.
Yes, so Aquarians and Librans are well suited to Geminis. And that's because when you're with people that belong to the same element, you're just on the same wavelength.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy. It's compatible. But then if you're looking at romantic compatibility, for example, or any type of compatibility beyond the sun sign again, I'm going to keep taking us beyond the – we should call this podcast episode, beyond the sun sign.
Well, there you go. That's the title. Done.
There we go.
She just named it for us. That's one less thing we have to do. Thank you.
There we go. Because there's so much richness. And I think, astrology can be really misunderstood when people dismiss it as being overgeneralized and think, well, you're categorizing the entire population into only 12 categories. How can that possibly have any merit to it?
Yep.
And that's, that there's certainly something in that. So if people really understand what's beyond the sun sign, then that is where they can get to really understand the nuance and the richness of what astrology offers.
That's incredible. So when you do have your predictions, so you do there's daily predictions, monthly predictions, yearly predictions. How do they come? How do you, I guess, what's the word? How do you come across these? How do you make these
figure
predictions?
it out? How do I figure it out?
That's the word. That's it.
And that's a great question because a lot of clairvoyants or psychics or tarot readers, they will use astrology to augment their practice.
Right.
Meaning that they might have the gift of foresight or they are, well versed in reading the cards, and then they'll weave a bit of astrology into that.
Yep.
But the way I work is through pure astrology. I studied for 3 years.
Wow.
Then I was invited to join the senior research group at the Australian Academy of Astrology and Cosmobiology. So my second year of study was a 4-hour math exam.
Oh, 4-hour math
exam. 4-hour math exam, all the different formulas for all the different charts. So I fully believe that astrology can stand on its own, and so I don't work with any psychic gifts. Albeit, I think we all have them, and I've certainly
believe we do.
Yeah, absolutely. And my mum's a clairvoyant, and my Oma, my grandmother, was also clairvoyant. So
I love that.
Yes, but astrology really is such a rich topic on its own. So, in answer to your question, I study the charts. So I will study the charts, the planetary patterns and the angles and the mathematical connections they're making. If a planet is moving into a new sign, for example, I will always look back at the cycles before that in history.
Right.
And then make correlations as to what was happening then to what could possibly happen now.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And it was actually, sorry, I'm just getting excited.
I love it. I love how passionate you are.
I'm so intrigued. I've always wondered how, because astrology is a lot more in depth, a lot more than just, a tarot or things like that. It's not something you just study and you do it. The way is just, please continue.
Thank you. I was going to give credit to Ed Tamplin, who was a brilliant astrologer, and he was the one that taught me to look back at the cycles and to work with the predictions in that way. And it's fascinating. I love the research associated with it. And, in 25 years of being an astrologer, I can say that, it really works. The planets work in cycles and our human experience is often in cycles.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Cycles and patterns. I think if you want to know who a person really is, study their patterns.
Right.
A person is their patterns.
Okay.
A person is their patterns.
What's an Aries?
That's actually one of my favourite signs.
Really?
Yeah. Honestly, not saying that in front of you. And I honestly always thought you were a Pisces for some reason. Because you're March through to
April 2nd.
So I think she's I always assumed you were Pisces.
Yes, no, that's a true Aries. So Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. They're initiators and they like to be first. They're quite courageous and they're pioneering. They're a very brave sign. Whereas other people like to follow a leader, the Aries is happy to step into that leadership role, even if they might be a little bit unsure about what that is. They're willing to take a risk. So they're risk takers.
Okay.
They're very passionate. They have, and they wear their hearts on their sleeve a little bit too.
Yeah.
And because they have this driving, passion is their driving force, sometimes an Aries can be quick to give away their hearts.
Yeah.
So if you're single out there and an Aries, I just say, be discerning about who you're giving your heart away to a little bit. Yeah.
Maybe be a bit more trusting.
A little bit less trusting. Maybe. Less, yeah. And a little bit, Aries can be impatient. That's a sign associated with Aries. So, say take a breath, take a step back, assess the risks before you kind of leap in head first. And that goes for love and relationships as well.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
What about a fellow Aquarius?
A beautiful Aquarian. Well, it is your time to shine, girl, because Pluto has just spent its first full year in Aquarius since the late 1700s.
Wow.
Yes, and Pluto is the planet of transformation and power. So this is huge for Aquarians. I believe, and this is hotly contended in amongst professional astrologers, whether or not we've actually stepped into the age of Aquarius. I believe that we have since 2020. So that means that really the Aquarians are the movers and the shakers. They're the ones who are going to be transforming humanity. They're the sign of humanity.
Actually, I love that.
Yeah.
Transforming humanity would be my ultimate dream in life.
Yes. Well, there you go.
If I could do anything, that's what it would be.
And that's such a beautiful Aquarian trait. Aquarians will always fight for the underdog. They will fight for the greater good. They are humanitarians. They are also probably, I would say, the most intelligent zodiac sign.
If I may say so myself. If I may agree with you.
But then they can be quite cool emotionally. But it's not because they are detached. It's not because they don't care. But the Aquarian compassion is more about the greater good. And the greater community. That's where their power really lies. Sometimes, in a partnership, they can tend to overanalyze their feelings rather than just be in that moment of kind of touchy-feely moment.
The brain's always working.
The brain's always working. But there again, you would need to look at the whole chart, because if you had an Aquarian sun sign like you do, Chantel, and you had an air sign, an air moon sign, and maybe Venus also in a moon sign, that is going to amplify that sort of degree of emotional detachment and emotional intelligence, high degree of emotional intelligence. But it's going to make a person more cool emotionally than if they've got a fiery moon sign or a Sagittarian or a Leo Venus.
Moon sign changes the type of Aquarius. Because I've met so many Aquarius. I've got friends that are Aquarius, but I find they're different.
Yes.
We're not all the same.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this is where it's nuanced and it is different, yes.
Yeah.
Depending on your astrological individual blueprint and DNA.
So how can this blueprint, how can people use it to level up? Is it because it's like a guide, really?
It absolutely is. And, it's a perfect blueprint, not just to knowing yourself, which, let's face it, is the key to empowerment. Because when we have that self-understanding, we have self-awareness.
Yeah.
When we have self-awareness, we can come to a place of self-compassion.
Right.
And then when we fully understand our strengths and our weaknesses, our areas to work on, we can navigate life that little bit better.
Yeah.
We can maximize our opportunities. We can maximize our potentials and our strengths rather than just fumbling around in the dark, wishing we were someone we weren't, really sort of honing in on what we have to offer and the gifts that we have.
That's great. It kind of gives you that little bit of confidence. You're like, okay, yeah, I am like that. That explains why I'm so quick to make decisions.
Yes.
And then it sort of gives you that reassurance okay, you're not doing anything wrong, but just be aware.
Absolutely. And it's such a powerful and beautiful moment when people see their birth charts and they have that epiphany, they have that aha moment, I understand now, where that quality, where that tendency is coming from.
Yeah,
and there's
awesome.
that sort of that beautiful moment of self-acceptance and validation as well.
Yeah.
Because what people don't understand too is you know, there's a lot of taboo with regards to obviously, you know, clairvoyance and mediums, and unfortunately there is, right?
Yeah, people get mixed up with it all.
And psychic and everything.
Yeah.
But what they don't understand is astrology is, I don't know if I should say your birthright, but it is
I love that.
You're born. You can't change the fact that you were born, right? We're here because our mums gave birth to us.
Yes.
So then what falls on that day, on that time, on the moon, on the planets, like that is what we live in. Whether you want to, you know, turn your head around and go, oh, no, I don't believe in the moon and the sun and whatever, but
there's no escaping it, baby.
That's
yeah.
Not even science. It's like I do find it a human, like it's you're born into it. That's it. It's what it comes with.
Yes, although that said, I'm a big believer in using the energy, using our astrological blueprint to our best advantage. So I do think that there are positives and negatives, for want of a better word. You could say light and shadow expression of every single planet and every single zodiac sign. And this is where I believe that free will comes into play and that we can choose whether or not we're going to manifest the light expression of a Leo, for example, a Leo sun sign, or the shadow expression of a Leo sun sign. So the shadow expression could be ego and arrogance and you know, bullish behavior. But the light expression is really stepping into leadership and being brave. And so I do believe that we're given the opportunity to exercise that free will, and that's where knowing your birth chart is so valuable.
I think I need to do my birth chart. It's been a long time. I have no idea where it is.
Well, you can actually go to my website.
Here we go. That was my next question.
I've got a free offering. Yeah. So you just go to my website. I think it's under services, free birth chart.
What's your website?
It's astrotash.com.
Okay. Done.
Hop over there, services, free birth chart. You fill in your birth data, and then you'll be emailed your PDF of your chart. And it's a beautiful,
you know what I'm doing
chart.
tonight?
Underneath the chart is a list of all of the planetary placements. So you have the chart itself, but I put the list underneath so people can clearly understand exactly what their placements are.
That's incredible.
There's a little write-up written by me personally of your core 4 placements.
Wow.
And you can print it, frame it. It's very beautiful. And
oh my God, I'm excited. I'm actually doing this tonight.
Yeah, so any listener who wants who wants a birth chart.
Yeah, because I think I did one in my like early 20s.
Yes.
And because I've always been intrigued with astrology since I was a kid. I was always that one who loved crystals.
Yeah.
Who loved knowing why this and why that. And
drawn to the mistakes.
Very much. Since I was a little child, always.
Yeah. I bet you've probably got some Pisces or something in your chart. But that said.
Well, I'm on the last day of Aquarius. I'm February 18.
You're on the cusp.
Yeah.
See, that's so important that you have your birth chart calculated then, because if you're on the cusp, it means that the sun was either in the next zodiac sign or in the one before it, because it changes differently each year.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And this is why
I always feel like I don't fit in with my characteristics sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it could explain that I am on the cusp.
Yeah. Yes, and you'd be definitely drawing traits from both Pisces
as well
and Aquarius as well, because the sun is a disc. So it takes, and this is getting a bit mathematical, but I sat down and worked out the math one day.
I like that.
I love that.
I like that.
And so it takes 6 hours on either side from the outer diameter of the sun to get to the center of the sun. And the center of the sun is the 0 degrees, the exact starting point of the next zodiac sign. So in that 12-hour window, 6 hours on either side, it's in transition. So you are drawing traits from both signs. And depending on whether you're born on the 18th of February, for example, or the 19th, it'll depend on the year, because it will be different each year on when the sun transfers.
That's incredible. Like I did not realize the work and like this like how hard it was to
That's probably why there's not many.
I'm blown away.
Yeah. I shouldn't say not many, but in my personal opinion, not that many successful or well-known astrologists, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Like you,
it's hard.
everybody, yeah, like you're amazing. But I can't name others randomly.
well, I mean, it's not a common it's not a common profession for sure. But in my first year of study, well, after my first year of study, we lost probably 60% of the class because everyone, and they'd signed up and paid their money and signed up to an academy. So you'd think they sort of would understand. But I don't think anyone realised how actually
It's very
mathematical.
intense.
Yes, very intense, very complex.
Yep.
And then, the key to really a good astrological reading is an astrologer who can synthesize everything in the chart.
Yeah.
Because you will have contradictions. And I like to think of contradictions in a chart as balance. So, for example, if you've got a really outgoing sun sign and a really introverted moon sign, that confuses a lot of people, right? But in actual fact, that provides balance. And we're always looking for a balance of the elements. We don't want an overload of fire.
Right.
We don't want an overload of air.
Of course.
Because an overload of air is going to make someone sort of withdrawn in their own head and overthinking potentially. An overload of fire. Yeah. Okay. It's that ever.
From the top of my head, I'm double fire.
I'm like,
I
think I'm double.
fire.
I think I'm double Aquarius when you just said I'm always in my head.
So what's your
overthinking.
big and I don't like the term big three, actually. I like core four. I think I've made that up myself. So because that's including, have you heard of the big three?
What?
No.
Okay. So the big three became really popular, when astrology had its surge in popularity quite recently. A lot of the young sort of pop culture astrologers came out with, where's your big three? And it's relating to your sun, your moon, and your rising.
Yeah.
But they're missing the midheaven, which is this very similar to the rising sign. It's a mathematical point, as is the rising or ascendant sign is another term for it. And the midheaven is at the zenith of our charts, and it relates to our career and our whole direction and our calling in life. So it's super important.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know it was called the big three, but I know sun, moon, rising, of course.
Yes.
I always,
Super important.
when I'm doing, listening to tarot, I keep it. But what was the fourth one called again?
The midheaven.
Midheaven.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah. It's the rising or ascendant is the first house cusp. The midheaven is the 10th house cusp.
Wow. Okay,
I
interesting.
like that.
What are your thoughts on, how this whole world is now a content creation world, and what are your thoughts on people coming up on TikTok and claiming that they're astrologers and how does that make you feel? And do you think that people should be listening to them or?
Yes, look, it makes me. I guess it's two things. Firstly, it is wonderful that astrology is getting more airtime, and that it's more readily available to help people. And I think that even basic astrology, like the horoscopes and the sun sign astrology, because I do a lot of sun sign astrology. I think that is a very noble profession because it is a gateway to the more ancient astrological study,
right?
From the ancient wisdom. On the other hand, it is deeply concerning as well because, in as much as it's great to have astrology accessible, more readily accessible, it also means that the misinformation is more readily available.
Yeah.
And there are obviously so many astrologers, and whenever something becomes super popular, everyone wants to kind of jump on the bandwagon.
Everyone wants to have their 15 minutes.
Yeah. And they're thinking, that's popular, I can do that.
Yeah.
And there is no regulations with astrology. So anyone can literally call themselves an astrologer and have maybe read a book or done a little online course.
Yeah.
There are very, very few astrologers with credentials.
Which is what I was saying before.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's right.
What I was saying, because I love astrology, so I do a bit of research with who. So you can always pick the amateur or the wannabe from the true gifted person.
Yeah.
I will say there are some decent astrologers out there without the qualifications, but I mean, would you go and see a doctor or a psychologist that didn't have those qualifications?
Yeah, that's right.
So I've actually got letters that I've earned after my name. I'm PMAAC, which is Professional Member of the Australian Academy of Astrology and Cosmobiology. It's a massive
Damn, that was a long.
You sound very important, though.
That sounds
a lot of
very important, but that was a mouthful.
Yeah.
I had to take a breath for you.
And also MAFA, which is member of the American Federation of
wow.
Astrologers as well. So I think,
Incredible.
if you're people out there, if you are following an astrologer, firstly, different astrologers are going to have different perspectives and different tone of voices, and that's important. You need to pick someone who resonates with you. And every astrologer, has their strength, I find, as well. But I would definitely be looking for their qualifications.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, you're extremely talented in what you do.
Oh.
And for those who maybe don't know you by your face, but your voice has been I knew her by her voice.
Yeah.
I remember when I was talking to her, I was like, I actually had no idea, remember? I was just like, oh, hi, nice to help you, but I'm happy to help you, whatever. But that voice, in my head, I was like, oh, that voice.
That voice.
Voice. I remember,
God.
and then I remembered, oh my God, then after I followed her, that's the voice from the Channel 7, because sometimes they put the writing and it's just got your voice.
Yes.
Most of the times, right? Sometimes they got the picture, the video.
Well, on 7,
Recently.
it's a live cross, so it's always like
Yeah.
my face and
But it used
my
to
voice.
be, but isn't it ages ago, it used to be just your voice at one point sometimes.
Well, you might be thinking of the podcast.
Maybe.
Yeah.
The Astrology Coach podcast and Kiss. I had a regular spot on Kiss Radio as well with Mitch Cherry at the
you've
night
been
show
You've been doing it a lot
for
of great
10
things.
years. And I still love astrology so much. It gets me
It's
excited.
incredible because if you love something, then you don't feel like you're working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Yeah.
I was literally doing astrology. I was part of the senior research group and preparing research topics and presenting them. And I did that for 15 years
Wow.
before I even started AstroTash.
Well, my hat
15
goes off
years.
to you because
Yeah.
I'm a nurse and research was my most hated subject.
Right, okay. It's
So-
not an Aries thing.
No, I was like, I can't wait to finish this. It was just like, yeah. So my hat goes off to you. Years and years of research. It takes a special person. You're a very clever woman.
you.
Yeah, and the maths as well.
can't believe that.
4 hours of maths, was it?
A 4-hour math exam.
Oh,
It
my
was.
God.
I know. I mean, look, maths is not my favourite topic. My enemy's
Definitely not
French.
mine.
No.
Definitely not mine.
But I mean, and different signs are suited to different things too. The Aries is definitely not about the research because Aries wants to get out,
I'm there.
get it done.
Okay, let me just tell you about the Aries in Steph. Steph comes up with we've figured out that we both have what do we have? ADHD. We both do. But Steph's ADHD will be like 5 or 10 different. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, we'll do that and try and get it done.
Yeah.
But as I'm trying to get this done, she throws another.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's
You've
do this.
gotta
I'm like,
keep up.
let's just finish. Let's
I'm
use this
just terrible.
project and do that project. No, but then and she'll get on the phone and she'll ring. She's so passionate and I love it. I actually love that about you because she's passionate and we get things done.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? But sometimes I need
It's a
to
bit
have-
too much. Yeah, I get
No,
it.
it's not too much because sometimes don't forget I throw my ideas in there.
Yeah, because you've
And
got
then
a
we're
lot of ideas.
I've had a lot of ideas.
Aquarius, yeah.
So then we're just like in a box of
Yeah, with all these
what to-
ideas.
pick one out for the month.
You bring the inspiration, being that fire sign associated with inspiration and let's do this, but you then figure out and analyze how to get them done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we're a good team.
balance-
Yeah,
balance
that's
balance
right.
each other out.
That's right. So
Yeah.
you don't need to be the same to be compatible.
No,
Sometimes
we're the same, but we're
Yeah.
same but different.
Yeah.
same, but
Yeah,
different.
same but
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
We're just, I think we're passionate and we want to be, I guess, different.
Yeah.
We don't want to do what's been done.
Yeah.
Well, that's very Aquarian. Aquarius likes to dance to the beat of their own drum.
Oh, hell
they
yeah,
like to
that's
do
me.
things differently.
As soon
They
as, as I find people doing or wearing what I'm wearing or whatever it is, just as
Yeah.
an example.
You want to change
I'm
it.
like, bored, done.
Yes, yeah.
So-
Want to stand out, girl.
Yeah, I don't like to do things because we have to do things. That probably
Yes.
explains why I'm single with no children. I'm like, because everyone has to get married by 30, get married.
You're like, nah, not me.
That's a thing.
Like, I'll get to it when I get to it. But, like, as in general. I
Yeah,
like to be-
Aquarians like to be unconventional, and they often do have unorthodox type of relationships. And that goes not just for Aquarian sun signs, but also like Venus in Aquarius, because Venus rules our love language. So people with
I'd like to hear more
Aquarian,
about that.
yeah. So it'd be interesting to know what the rest of your charts are like. Should have done a little reading for you.
I would love
Well,
that.
that would have been amazing.
Yeah, that's the next episode.
Yeah, that's it. That's
That'd be
it. Well,
great.
definitely.
Yep.
So what are the 2026 predictions?
Okay. Well, I mean, firstly, 2025, I think I started off by saying it was going to be a game-changing year, and I think it definitely has. There's been a lot of shocks and a lot of surprises, and that was because we had all of the outer planets, bar Pluto, and Pluto did spend its first full year in Aquarius, as I mentioned before, but all of the other outer planets were moving into brand new zodiac signs, which is really rare, considering that a planet like Neptune, for example, will take 164 years to
go
come back
around.
to the same zodiac sign.
That's
Yeah.
literally like
Yeah.
breathtaking.
So we had Neptune entering Aries this year for the first time in 164 years. We had Saturn entering Aries as well for the first time in 29 years. So just with those two planets, they've retrograded back into Pisces for a last little, hurrah. And then in 2026, they re-enter. And the same thing with Uranus is re-entering Gemini next year in 2026. So we've had a preview of the changes that are going to be occurring, and they are really going to be picking up speed in 2026. So I think, I've called 2026 a year of realignment and reckoning. I think those changes will really amplify in momentum.
Yeah.
We've got a historical, never before seen in world history alignment happening.
Tell us.
Yes.
Can you tell I'm excited?
Well, it is actually happening in Aries. It's in 0 degrees of Aries.
Wow.
And this is between Saturn and Neptune. They are going to be meeting at the exact same spot, 0 degrees of Aries. This is the exact starting point of the entire zodiac.
Wow.
So what this
That's
means,
incredible.
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely incredible. We are living in unprecedented. Oh, there's that word, but yes, it's true. Unprecedented times.
Yep.
And I think 2026 is going to really clarify that. So this marks a total reset for humanity.
Wow.
Aries is ruled by Mars, so I think missions to Mars will be in the headlines because sometimes astrology can be so literal.
Yep.
And another interesting fact about this is that Aries rules the face. And Saturn is about turning our dreams and our vision into reality. And then Neptune's a planet of illusion.
Yeah.
And it's often strongly placed in the birth charts of movie stars and models. So you put all of these things together and we see these designer faces
Wow.
being, coming out on these celebrities. But I think this will become more mainstream and more readily available to us all as well. That's just Saturn and Neptune. But look, I spoke about Saturn and Neptune a lot last year because these two in the sign of Aries also marked world conflict. And we've definitely seen that play out this year.
Yeah,
because Aries is ruled by Mars and Mars is the planet of war. It's the warrior sign, hence why it is brave and fearless, the sign of Aries. And they are the positive expressions. But, of course, the negative is the conflict and the potential for war. So this is where humanity needs to be very, very careful. Yeah. And certainly our history and our world cycles are indicative of what is possible here. But we have a choice and we can choose differently now.
Yes. Yeah. We should.
Yes. And then I think, the era that we're stepping into is absolutely the era of AI, and this is because of Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus in Gemini, technological genius and robotics and the merging between human biology and machine bionic.
Insane. AI is insane.
It is insane. And I think we're only just seeing the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
So again, we need to navigate this very mindfully.
Yep.
I think Uranus in Gemini, when it re-enters in April next year, it'll really heat up the UFO conversation.
Wow.
Yes. And because the last time that Uranus was in Gemini, we had a lot of those famous UFO sightings, one of them being the Roswell incident in 1947. So that was the last time we experienced this cycle.
Wow.
Yes. And
Wow, that was a very, very long time ago.
yeah, that's right. Because Uranus takes 84 years to return
Wow.
to a sign. So it's been about 84 years since it was in Gemini.
Incredible.
Yes.
Half these, I could just hear you talk for
Yeah.
the next 20 days.
I could, being a Gemini, I could probably speak for 20 days. But I think, Pluto in Aquarius is the big one. And I've been reflecting a lot on this transit, and this will last up until 2044.
Wow.
So this, yes, it's got to do with AI, but it's also got to do with the evolution of humanity. Pluto also rules Scorpio, and this is the sign of the underworld and crime.
Mm.
And then Aquarius is the sign of the people. So Pluto's also about power. So I've been saying power to the people. There is power to the people, but this is the positive expression of this placement. And this is where humanity can find its voice, where the everyday person gets to express their needs and their wants and fight for freedom and fight for their liberation and fight for their community. But if we tip into the shadow expression, this is when we find violent protests occurring and anarchy happening. Aquarius is all about freedom and liberation, but, the negative side of that is a complete disregard for law and order and rules. So again, we need to be really mindful about how we sort of move through this Pluto in Aquarius period. Yes, we can fight for freedom and we can have our voice and the people can be heard, but how we go about doing that is vitally important, and that we maintain respect for our fellow humans, because the highest good of this is really bringing community together, dissolving boundaries, dissolving what divides us, and really coming together as a global community.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's incredible. I totally 100%
totally agree with that. And I mean, totally agree with that. But being in the country that we're in, I don't want to really touch on that topic, but we need to have respect for each other.
Yes.
Regardless of what's going on overseas. People say, oh, this side, but they do that. But this side, I get it. Both should not be hurting each other equally. Totally get it. But in our beautiful country, Australia, we should have respect as a basic human right.
That's right.
Yes, absolutely.
And what you choose to be and what you choose to be and what I choose to be should just be respected.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't need to make you what I am and the other way around.
That's right.
Yes.
And that's how I've been brought up as well.
Yeah.
Loving everyone equally and treating people with respect.
Yeah.
If they disrespect you, let it be.
Yes.
Your kindness sometimes can be the best form of retaliation.
Yeah, I that's a beautiful way of looking at it, Chantal. I totally agree with you. Yeah. And I think, being an astrologer, I see everyone as a bunch of astrological energy. So I see the soul and I see the heart and I see the character and what's the Venus sign or the moon sign. And that really transcends, and you don't have to be an astrologer and look at people that way, but I think if we look at each other as souls,
exactly.
as fellow humans, rather than dividing humanity by our religion and by our race.
I agree.
Let's transcend all of those lower frequencies.
Yep.
And bring everyone to a higher frequency.
That's right.
That would be my absolute wish in everything.
Yes.
Me too.
Because could you imagine if everybody just absolutely, you don't even have to love what I do or who I am. You don't even have to love me. You just need to respect.
Absolutely.
That's right. Exactly.
You don't have to love me, though having a world full of love would just be
Wouldn't that be lovely?
literally another thing. But again, you don't have to love what I stand for or what my religion is or what my nationality is or what my work is or prefer, whatever, right?
Yes.
Whatever you choose to disagree with, but you just respect.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If you just respect who I am and we all just respected each other,
the world would be a better place.
Better place. And you know what? People like you, Natasha, always make the world a better place.
Yes. Oh, and thank you.
Yeah,
and you also. That was so beautifully said.
Oh, thank you. But love everything you bring to the astrology world. I get so excited to watch it all.
She was very excited for you to come, and me too. I was very excited too.
And likewise.
Thank you.
And I've learnt a lot about astrology.
Yes.
I honestly didn't know how full on it was. It is.
That's what I say. It's not something you can just
learn overnight.
Jump on. Whereas, you can do with all due respect to tarot card readers, I love tarot reading. So it's but you can sort of learn as you go, or you can do your own and then just learn sort of. But with astrology, it's another level of
that's right. It's a lot to think about too, because we forget that we have the planets in the sky, and we forget about the moon and all of that. I mean, you see the moon every night, but like you forget that there are planets up there as well. We're a planet.
Yeah. And I think it's so crazy to think that we're not connected.
Yeah.
We are energy. I think scientists will agree to that.
Yes.
So why would we not be connected to our solar system? The animals, the plants, human beings, the planets, we're all connected.
Animals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Animals. Oh, today I started about my, I've got a dog. I have to just, this is so funny. I've got a beautiful dog. He's a cavoodle.
You're talking to?
Really?
Dog lover.
Oh, there we go. That's why we connected as well, probably. But I do have a little thing for Leos. I love Leos. Leo is my moon sign. Both my children are Leos. And my dog is a Leo, and I've called my dog Leo Luna after my
I love that. Leo Luna.
Leo Luna's a beautiful name.
So, don't get me started.
Yeah.
My baby girl is a Pisces.
Oh, she's a Pisces. She's so cuddly.
Don't even go there. Her bum, like right now, I could just grab it and...
Her bum?
Yeah, she's got the cutest bouncy bum.
All right.
Cutest. She's the cutest dog. American Staffy.
Oh,
very, very cute. And I've got a black border collie. Very naughty.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Very naughty. Absolutely beautiful, though.
Oh, I really think dogs are the greatest blessing to human beings.
I agree. My husband and I, we've got kids, but not together. And so we have a puppy. Her name's Sky, and that's our baby. Oh, and she's gorgeous. Yeah, she's gorgeous. She's beautiful.
Yeah,
like the most beautiful little sausage.
Baby. I just let them pretend like it's their baby. But that's okay.
But she comes and steals her.
She loves me.
She's beautiful.
Dogs sense your character. Yeah. Oh, they're the best.
Very.
Yes.
But thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's been great.
It did. Now, how can people follow you online? Obviously, the website, astrotash.com. But if people want to follow your social media, what is your handle?
Follow me on Instagram or Facebook at AstroTash. Super simple. Yeah, I'd love to see everyone there.
Yep, so everyone follow Natasha, AstroTash.
Yes.
And we truly thank you for being on.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great.
Thank you, girls.
We have to have you on again because I have so many more questions.
I've got a lot more questions.
So we'll do readings next time.
Yeah,
by the way, AstroTash come from Melbourne, so we truly thank you.
Yes.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
We thank you so much. And our sponsors?
Yeah, so we'd like to thank... where are we? Mic'd Up Studios. I was going to point to there, but yes, they are the home of the Level Up Lounge. You've been amazing. We've got Dom. We've got Tom and
Dan and Tom. I'll take over this. We've got Dan and Tom from Mic'd Up Studios.
Oh my gosh,
we thank you guys so much, and we'd like to also thank Mysteria by Cedrus.
Yes, they're sponsoring our
roads. Yeah, they're one of our sponsors as well.
That's right.
So thank you. So follow Mysteria by Cedrus on Instagram.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.